Hello and welcome. Today, we are going to talk about something incredibly important, something that can fundamentally change the quality of your life, especially as you enter what I like to call the age of the modern elder. This isn't just retirement, it's a profound psychological shift. It's a time when you realize that your most valuable asset isn't just money or possessions. It's your time and, even more critically, your energy. As we get older, energy becomes our new currency. It's what we spend on our passions, our families, our health, and our joy. Every single day, we wake up with a finite amount of it. So, I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself a really honest question. Are the people you call friends fueling you, or are they draining you? Are they contributing to your energy account, or are they making constant, unauthorized withdrawals? This isn't a small question. The answer could be the key to unlocking the peaceful, purposeful life you've worked so hard to achieve. Stick with me, because today we're going to explore why curating your social circle is one of the most powerful acts of self-care you can perform in this chapter of your life. Let's start with the big why. Why is this so crucial right now? Think about it. For decades, you've been on the grind. Building a career, maybe raising a family, juggling countless responsibilities. Now, you've arrived at a point where you have more control over your time than ever before. But this freedom comes with a new awareness. The active years, the years where you have the health and vitality to travel, to learn, to create, to truly live. These years are precious and they are not infinite. Wasting this invaluable time and energy on what we call energy vampires is a profound disservice to yourself. When we were younger, many of us operated on a quantity model of friendship. It was about having a big social circle, being popular, being invited to every party. It was a numbers game. But as we mature, the game changes. It's no longer about the quantity of friends, it's about the quality of your connections. The goal shifts from social validation to inner peace. Peace of mind becomes the ultimate luxury, the thing we strive for above all else. And true peace cannot coexist with constant emotional turmoil caused by draining relationships. Every hour you spend listening to needless complaints, navigating manufactured drama, or feeling emotionally exhausted after a simple coffee date is an hour you can't get back. It's an hour you could have spent learning a new language, walking in nature, playing with your grandkids, or simply sitting in quiet, joyful contentment. Your energy is the fuel for your dreams in this next chapter. Protecting it isn't selfish, it's essential. It's about honoring the life you have and the person you've become. So, the first step is to acknowledge that your time and energy are finite resources. Once you truly internalize that, you'll naturally start to question who is worthy of receiving them. So, how do we identify these energy vampires? It's a strong term, I know, but it perfectly captures the feeling of being drained. It's important to distinguish between a friend going through a genuine, temporary crisis and a friend whose entire personality is a pattern of draining behavior. We all need to support our friends in tough times. That's what friendship is about. But what we are talking about are chronic patterns. Let's look at a few common archetypes. First, there's the health complainer. Again, this is not the friend bravely battling a serious illness. This is the person whose entire identity seems to be wrapped up in their ailments. Every conversation begins with a detailed organ recital of their latest aches, pains, and mysterious symptoms. They don't seem to want solutions or advice. They want an audience for their suffering. After you talk to them, you feel heavy, maybe even a little anxious about your own health. They create a cloud of negativity, and you're expected to stand under it with them. Next, we have the political firebrand. This is the friend who has lost the ability to have a normal conversation. Everything, from the weather to what you had for lunch, somehow circles back to their political outrage. It's not about having a healthy debate or a passionate discussion. It's about anger and division. They aren't interested in your perspective. They're interested in converting you or condemning you. You leave conversations feeling agitated, angry, or just plain exhausted from walking on eggshells. Your time together is no longer about connection. It's about navigating a conversational minefield. Then there's the one-way street. This is the friend who always calls when they need something, an ear to listen to their problems for 2 hours straight, a favor, or an audience for their latest drama. They talk, and you listen. But when you're going through something, when you need support, they're suddenly busy, they cut the conversation short, or they quickly turn it back to themselves. It's a monologue disguised as a dialogue. You feel less like a friend and more like an unpaid therapist or a free emotional support service. Over time, This imbalance breeds resentment and makes you feel invisible and unheard. These patterns do more than just make you feel bad in the moment. They have a cumulative effect on your mental health. Constant exposure to negativity can increase your own stress and anxiety levels. Feeling unheard can erode your self-esteem. Being in a constant state of low-level conflict keeps your nervous system on high alert. This emotional drain can even impact your other, healthier relationships, because you have less positive energy to give to your partner, your children, and the friends who actually do lift you up. Recognizing these patterns is the first, crucial step toward reclaiming your peace. Once you've identified a friendship that is consistently draining your energy, you're faced with the really hard part. What do you do about it? How do you end or alter a relationship, especially one that might have decades of history, without causing a huge, messy explosion? This is where a graceful exit strategy is key. It's not about being cruel or ghosting someone entirely, but about taking intentional, self-protective steps. For less intense situations, or with friendships that are already somewhat distant, the fade-out method can be very effective. This is a gradual reduction of contact. You don't have to announce it. You simply start to become a little less available. You might take longer to return their calls or texts. You might be busy more often when they suggest getting together. You slowly and gently create more space. Instead of a weekly coffee, maybe it becomes a monthly one, and then maybe it just fades into an occasional text. This method allows the friendship to cool down naturally, without a big, dramatic confrontation. It's a gentle untangling, rather than a sharp cut. For many long-term but low-grade draining friendships, this is often the kindest and least dramatic approach for everyone involved. However, some situations are more intense and require a more direct approach. This is where the honest conversation comes in, and it requires courage. The key here is to use I statements. This isn't about blaming or accusing the other person. It's about expressing your own needs and feelings. You could say something like, "I've been feeling really overwhelmed lately and I've realized I need to simplify my life and have more quiet time. I value the history of our friendship, but I don't have the emotional energy for our frequent conversations right now." Or, if you need to set a boundary around a specific topic, you could say, "I care about you, but I find our conversations about politics to be very stressful for me. I need to ask that we avoid that topic when we talk." This approach is honest, kind, and firm. It sets a boundary or signals the end of the friendship as it currently exists, but it does so from a place of your own needs, not their faults. Now, let's talk about the guilt. This is often the biggest hurdle. You might think, "But we've been friends for 30 years. I can't just end it." History is powerful, but you have to ask yourself, are you staying in the friendship because of the present connection, or purely out of an obligation to the past? People change. The person you were friends with 30 years ago might not be the same person today, and you are certainly not the same person either. A helpful way to reframe this is to think of friendships as having seasons. Some friendships are meant for the spring of our youth, full of growth and excitement. Some are for the busy summer of our middle years. And some are simply not built for the autumn and winter of our lives. A season ending is not a failure. It's a natural progression. To say that a season has concluded is a beautiful, gentle way of acknowledging that the friendship served its purpose for a time, and now that time has passed. It allows you to look back on the good memories with gratitude, without feeling obligated to carry a relationship that no longer serves you into the future. Releasing the guilt is about giving yourself permission to evolve and to have your needs change over time. Ending draining friendships isn't just about creating a void. It's about making space for something better. This is the exciting part. It is about actively cultivating a new circle of friends who align with the person you are today and the person you want to become. It's about consciously choosing your community. So, where do you find these people? Look for purpose-driven friends. These are people you connect with over a shared passion or activity. Join a hiking club, a book group, a volunteer organization, a painting class, or a pickleball league. When you build friendships based on a shared interest, the connection is naturally positive and uplifting. You're already doing something you love, and you get to share that joy with others. These relationships are built on mutual enthusiasm, not on mutual complaint. You'll find yourself talking about possibilities, about learning, about doing, rather than being stuck in a loop of negativity. I also want to champion the incredible value of intergenerational friendships. This is a core idea behind the modern elder concept. Too often, we segregate ourselves by age. We think we can only be friends with people in our own decade of life. But there is so much wisdom to be gained by connecting with people who are younger than you, and so much mentorship you can offer. Younger friends can bring new energy, fresh perspectives, and keep you connected to the changing world. You, in turn, can offer them the gift of your experience, your wisdom, and your long-view perspective. It's a beautiful, reciprocal exchange that enriches everyone involved. Don't limit your social circle to your peers. Be open to connecting with people of all ages. You might be surprised by the depth of the friendships that can form. Ultimately, as you cultivate this new circle, choose friends who support your growth. This is a chapter of reinvention. You might be starting a new hobby, going back to school, launching a small business, or focusing on your health. Surround yourself with people who cheer you on. Find friends who say, "That's a great idea, how can I help?" Not ones who say, "Are you sure you can do that at your age?" You need champions, not critics. You need people who see the potential in your next chapter and are excited to witness it unfold. This is the quality of friendship that will truly fuel your soul. So, as we wrap up, I want to give you a little piece of homework. I encourage you, over the next week, to conduct a quiet audit of your social circle. You don't need a spreadsheet, just a little self-reflection. After you interact with each of your friends, whether it's in person, on the phone, or even through text, just pause and check in with yourself. Ask, how do I feel right now? Do I feel lighter, energized, and happier? Or do I feel heavy, drained, and a little bit down? Just notice. No judgment, just observation. This simple act of awareness is the first step toward making conscious choices about who gets to share your precious time and energy. Your life is your masterpiece, and in this chapter, you get to be the curator of your own gallery. It is perfectly okay, and in fact, it is wise, to decide that some pieces no longer fit the collection. There is an immense beauty and a profound peace that comes from having a smaller, more meaningful circle of friends who truly see you, support you, and lift you up. You've earned this peace. I would love to hear from you. Please share in the comments how you've handled difficult friendships in your own life, or what your biggest challenges are in this area. Your stories and wisdom enrich our entire community. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this message resonated with you, please consider subscribing for more conversations on how to live a vibrant, purposeful life as a modern elder. Until next time, be kind to yourself and guard your energy well.